to another episode of Interactions with Express Drives. And of late, there has been a lot of talk in the Indian market about diesels being dead or diesels being done away with. But Hyundai Motor India, which is India's second largest car maker, is forging a different path. And Hyundai believes in diesel still as a viable future. So, why is Hyundai going walking the talk against what the market is saying and what the popular opinion is? Well, the best way to find out is to talk to someone from Hyundai, and for that, we have with us today Mr. Tarun Garg, who is the Director for Sales, Marketing, and Service for Hyundai Motor India Limited. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Tarun Garg. Thank you so much for sparing time for us.
Thank you, Arpit. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Great. It's a pleasure talking to you. And now, like I just mentioned, Mr. Garg, there is a lot of last few months, especially when we as an industry migrated from the BS4 norms to the BS6 norms. So a lot of change happened, especially in the diesel segment, and that some car makers completely did away with diesel, and some segments really got hit hard in terms of diesel engines. But Hyundai, I believe, is very positive about diesel. So why is that? Why is this opposing thing happening within the industry?
Good. Arpit, that you have brought this up. And frankly, as far as Hyundai Motor India is concerned, we want to be in the consideration set of every car buying intender in India. I mean, it's as simple as that. So if you see Hyundai's portfolio, whether it is in terms of cars, we are there for the entry level cars, we are there for the sedans, we are there for the SUVs, we are there for the premium SUV, we are there for the premium sedan, so the entire range. When you talk about the powertrains, we are very strong in petrol, we have a turbo in petrol, we have a diesel, we have a CNG, and of course we have an electric as well. When you talk about manual automatics, we are one company which has 5 different automatics, whether it is the AT, the AMT, the DCT, the IMT. So all this talk about BS4 to BS6 was happening last year. And you know what was the biggest concern? There were two big concerns. One was the capability of the OEMs to actually produce a BS6 engine which will meet all the norms and will have a great performance as well as fuel efficiency. And the second aspect was what will be the price increase, from BS4 to BS6? What will be the delta price increase? I think on both those aspects, Hyundai was able to, deliver. Not only were we able to produce BS6 engines, whether it was 1.2 liter, 1.5 liter, or 2 liter, but great engines with super performance, fuel efficiency, and meeting all environmental norms. Also, the delta, the BS4 over BS6, the talk was about maybe it will be 80,000 rupees or 100,000 rupees. So the whole idea is because of Hyundai's strong global parent HMC, we were able to really get some good support and come out with some very good diesel engines. Now let us see what this has done to Hyundai. If we see in the post BS6 era, April to August, when we look at the sales numbers and when we look at the diesel penetration, it's like Creta, diesel penetration is as high as 62%. Even in a model like Venue, the diesel penetration is as high as 33%. Also 33% in Verna. Then there are states like Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, where again the diesel penetration is as high as 40% across the model range. India is a big country. There are various kinds of customers and want to make a choice. They want to make an informed choice. What is good for me? Which powertrain is good for me? Which car is good for me? And Hyundai is there, like I said, to be in the consideration set of each and every car buying intender. I think if we see the results, I think results are there for everybody to see. When you see the April to August sales figures, most humbly, I would say that now we are the market leader, not only in the more than 4-meter SUV, which is the Creta is the market leader, the less than 4-meter SUV, where Venue has become the market leader, and the more than 4-meter sedan, where Verna has become the market leader. And I think one key that is the different powertrains, whether it is petrol, turbo, or diesel, that we have been able to offer to the customers. So I think the stand is vindicated very clearly.
Okay. And Mr. Garg, you just mentioned the models that are now market leaders from Hyundai in the segment. So when you said market leaders, are these all market leaders in diesel or are these overall market leaders today?
No, overall market leaders. So
Right.
the point is that these Creta is the market leader in the more than 4 meter SUV segment. All
Yeah.
models put together. Similarly, Venue is the market leader in the less than 4 meter SUV segment, and Verna is the market leader in the more than 4 meter sedan segment. Petrol plus diesel plus turbo plus any powertrain put together. And the good thing is, this is a new market leadership. I mean, we were not market leaders in these three respective segments last year. So very clearly, I think our strategy has been, found to be very right ultimately.
And just going back to one of the lines you said earlier, if I remember correctly, you said over 60% market share for Creta is diesel today.
Yes, 62% to be precise, April to August.
Is okay. So, and for Hyundai overall as a company, what is the split right now between diesel and petrol?
We are 27% diesel, 73% petrol, and this percentage is exactly same what it was calendar year 19. Yeah, if you see the entire calendar year 19, we were 27% diesel and 73% petrol, and same is this year as well. But you must understand, there are so many models where we are only supplying petrol.
True.
So, so that of course is also a very important factor. So the whole idea is, what we are saying is we are good in petrol, we are good in turbo, we are good in diesel, and let the customer decide. So that is the simple thing and simple message that we are providing.
You also spoke about the petrol, the turbo petrol now gaining importance, and of late Hyundai has been quite bullish. A lot of models have been coming with the turbo petrol engine. So overall, again, I'll the same question, but now as of today, turbo sales constitute for what percentage in the Hyundai portfolio?
Turbo is a technology which is very new to India, and we have taken this lead. When we talk about turbo, when you talk about electric vehicles, I think the moment you try to put, okay, what percentage, how much numbers overall, I think then you lose the plot, because I think somebody has to take the lead in providing the global technologies to India. And very humbly, we would say, that has taken this lead, that we want to really provide these global technologies, and slowly but surely, there are segments of customers who are appreciating it, who feel that, yes, this is the car for me. And the numbers will definitely come. I mean, we are in no hurry to get the numbers. The whole idea is, can you really provide those discerning customers that option? And across powertrains too. If you see Hyundai, we are providing a turbo option in entry level cars like the Neos and the Aura. And we are providing turbo in the Venue, in the Verna, and the Creta as well. So the whole idea is, across powertrains, we have been able to offer a turbo option to the customers. And to the discerning customer, we are seeing that there is clearly a very good traction. In fact, there's a huge backlog of turbo bookings in both Creta and the Venue, and customers are waiting for the cars to come, and we're trying to ramp up production so that we can supply them quickly.
I mean, right now, I think you have the most extensive transmission portfolio within many other car makers. So now the newest one is IMT, which you introduced in the Venue. How has the response been for IMT, considering the fact that it is different from anything else that people in this market have ever seen? So how has the response been till now?
The response has been fabulous, fabulous both from auto journalists and experts like you, and of course our customers. But let me give you a brief background. We had done a study that there are many customers in India, because if you see the penetration of automatics in India, of course it keeps on going up, and the penetration is now close to 30%. At the same time, there are 70% customers who are still preferring manual transmission. When you see globally, the penetration of automatics is, more than 85%. So we thought that why so many customers still prefer a manual transmission, despite traffic conditions being so stringent in India, very heavy traffic. So what we realized, the market feedback was that so many customers did not buy an automatic because they were wanting, they were not wanting to spend that kind of a money, 45, 50,000 for a AMT, or 100,000 rupees for a AT, or maybe 120,000 for a CVT. Also, they had doubts about the fuel efficiency, So
Right.
some of them said that why we don't want a pedal or a clutch, but we want to have a control of really shifting the gears. So that was also one of the point which came up. So I would say IMT is a concept which has been brought forward by Hyundai in India, and we are very proud to say that we are the first company to do it. And I believe that this has the potential to be a revolution in itself, and it has opened the doors of to so many other customers who were wanting to have, to get rid of this clutch and wanting to have a two pedal technology. At the same time, they did not want to spend that kind of a money because the delta of IMT is only 22,000 rupees. So it is well within their grasp. The fuel efficiency is as good as manual. Plus, they have this satisfaction of being in control by also changing the gears themselves. So I think it is all in one kind of a technology, but we fully understand that this is again something new and it is a concept. So we have to do a lot of education. You would have seen also awareness has to be increased. So we have launched a very good campaign on television, across digital medium as well.
So now, considering that the response, like you said, for the IMT has been good, is there any are there any kind of numbers you can tell us, like what percentage of bookings are you getting within the venue lineup for IMT?
Yeah. So if you see venue, about 33%, like I said, is diesel and 67% is petrol
Right.
in venue. Okay. Out of the 67%, about close to 50% is turbo. So which comes to about say 33% of the overall thing. And out of that turbo, close to now 30% is IMT. So overall, if you see overall scheme of things, 10% of the venue sales are now coming. Close to 10% is coming from IMT, which I think is a very great beginning. And this is really a big encouragement for us to really move forward. However, these are early times. Like I said, this is just about what 1 month that IMT has been available to the Indian market. So we are very hopeful about the future.
Mr. Garg, now of late, one of the manufacturers in India also that said that we probably will not look at expansion due to some issues with the government policies. And even in the past, a lot of companies as well as SIAM and ACMA have made statements on what can be done. So, what is Hyundai's outlook on the present industry scenario and government policies? And what are the key issues that you think need an addressal in the immediate to medium term?
We are very proud to be in India, and we have been growing, and we have contributed humbly to the adoption of vehicles and making sure that mobility in India continues to improve. And so now there are a couple of things here. One is, look, we understand that government has its priorities. This is a very tough time for government, so they have their priorities. The economy is not in such good shape because of the corona pandemic. So the GST collections also is an issue. So yes, they will do the best because after all, the auto industry contributes hugely to the GDP, close to 13-14%, and also to the manufacturing sector, I think close to 50%. So everybody understands the importance of the auto industry for the economy. At the same time, what we have to see, how we see it is, what can we do, to make sure that the things come back to normal at as soon as possible. And I've already informed that nothing excites the Indian customers more than new products, new technologies, new options, and that is what we are trying to do. As far as government is concerned, I think we have already been informed that they're working on a scrappage policy, and I'm sure whenever time comes, they will look at all the aspects which can make sure that the auto industry comes back on track. Till that time, I can assure you, as far as Hyundai is concerned, we will continuously do whatever is possible and more to contribute towards bringing the economy back on track by trying to really produce more and give more and more options to customers and trying to stimulate demand in whatever best way it is possible.
Right. Okay. And now, considering how the demand has been slowly getting back on track in the last few months, what are your expectations from the upcoming festive season? And what kind of upswing are you expecting from this festive season?
So Arpit, yes, post April, which was actually a zero sales month, every month has been better. And August, of course, was a very good month for all of us. Actually, the onset of festival in India starts with August when Ganesh Chaturthi happens, Maharashtra and many other parts of the country. And of course, we have the Onam in Kerala. And things were looking quite positive. And we saw a good uptick in both markets. So which fills us with a lot of optimism for the upcoming festival season as well. At the same time, corona cases keep on increasing. So there is an upside. if the vaccine comes in, and of course the things remain stable, I mean things don't deteriorate, then I think we are in for a reasonably good festival season, and we are preparing for it. We are making sure that the vehicles reach the dealerships so that customers can get the delivery. Because our past few years of experience shows that it's always whatever you may produce, you always fall short, and customers have to wait. So this time, I think between the Pitri Paksh and the Navratras, there is some time in between, and I think that time can be utilized to really make sure that the vehicles reach the dealership. Of course, there's a downside. God forbid, if the second wave of corona comes, there's a downside to it. So I think we have to make sure that we keep a very balanced view of the overall situation. In any case, this pandemic has made us very flexible, very agile, and also, not look at too much far in the future. I think we look at every month as it comes, and try to really make sure that every opportunity is taken care of. I think that is most important.
Okay. And if you look at the period since April, so Hyundai has consistently been a leader, at least in the SUV segment. It has clearly led the space. So just take us through a bit of on this transition of Hyundai from primarily being a small and compact car maker to now suddenly being the quickly becoming the SUV leader. And going forward, what will SUVs continue to be your main focus now in the coming years?
Look, this is interesting, but again, I'll clarify that at Hyundai, most important thing is customer. So every strategy of ours revolves around the customer. And that is number one. Number two, like I said, that we are a full range manufacturer. So yes, entry level, of course, is very important. And we have been there, with Santro, with Nios, with Aura. We introduced the Aura where because we saw that there was a lot of opportunity there. At the same time, when you talk about SUVs, very clearly we can see over the last 4 to 5 years that the contribution of SUVs to the overall industry is increasing. It used to be about 8%, I think, 4 5 years back, and now it is as high as 25%. So the Indian customer is clearly evolving, and his preferences are shifting towards the SUV body type. I think I would say that it is to credit of Hyundai that we were able to spot this trend, and we were able to launch some very exciting products. Of course, Creta in 2015 was a segment creator. I think nobody expected that a model, in that segment could do such high volumes, and we were able to consistently do some very good volumes. Then the Venue in 2019, I think, brought in some very new features. For example, Blue Link connectivity. So the whole idea was that in the less than 4 meter space, can you really bring in some great features to the customer, and of course with great design, turbo body type, petrol, diesel as well. And I think we are taking that legacy forward now. We are taking the next step. The new Creta was launched, and we have received some very good response. And it is not only about the product. Of course, the product is great. The powertrains we have already talked about, the petrol, the diesel, the turbo, the features. Whether it was the panoramic sunroof, voice enabled, the Blue Link features. You know, of course the wireless charger, the air purifier. So we are really, I think the important thing is keeping the customer interest in mind. We are trying to really give those features to the customers, and they are really loving it. And I think that is what has helped Hyundai to get that leadership in the SUV segment. At the same time, I think we are continuously studying the market. So whenever we spot some opportunity in any segment, we will like to get it. I think Tucson is another example where we feel that there are many customers, including some Creta buyers, who want to upgrade to a higher, a premium SUV. And I think they're loving the Tucson as well. And we launched the facelifted Tucson again to some very good reviews. And again, the response is much better than what we expected. So the whole idea is, can you really keep the customer interest in mind? Can you spot those trends and then make sure that you are able to really, at the right time, provide the right customer to the product to the customer?
Okay. And Mr. Garg, off late, if you look at Hyundai vehicles and a lot of other vehicles from many other manufacturers, so the newer vehicles are nowadays mostly coming in with connected technologies. I mean, almost all Hyundai new models are coming with Blue Link. So which is a good thing. It's in sync with times. But from a customer perspective, what is the kind of feedback you're getting? How much importance are customers giving to this connectivity technology? Are they treating it like a fancy gimmick or just a good thing to have, or are they genuinely looking forward and are they willing to know what this technology can do?
Arpit, let me admit that customers are evolving much faster than sometimes me and you think, you know. And so first it was office which was connected. Of course, then it was the home which was connected. Now, what is the third space for the customer? Third space is obviously the car, because beyond office and home, the maximum time the customer is spending is in his car, and he wants to be connected there as well. I think this is the feedback that we are getting from the customer, that he does not feel left out when he's in the car. He feels that he's connected to the world. He feels that he's connected to his family. He feels that he's connected to his, the other people who are driving near him as well. And here also, I think it is about the evolution from both aspects. One is, yes, BlueLink was new. This is a technology which came in 2019, and you would have already seen the improvements which are happening, with every new model that we launch. So that is the first aspect. The second aspect is, as the penetration increases, more and more customers get adopted to this technology, and then you can get the maximum advantage. And the third thing is, as the customers get to know more and more about the BlueLink, they start using it also. So I think we're getting some fab feedback, especially when I talk about the Creta and when I talk about this voice-enabled features. I think customers are really loving it.
Going forward in the coming few years in the Indian car market, what are the top three trends that you see which will drive vehicle sales? Not just for Hyundai, but overall in the Indian car market, what are the top three trends?
I think, look, very clearly, I believe that car buying and car ownership is becoming more of a lifetime mobility service. So I think the most important thing going forward would be which OEM can really, build an ecosystem where you are taking care of the entire needs of the customer. And here I like to give an example, like Hyundai. One, we launched the click to buy, where very clearly we were able to offer the customer, sitting at his home or in office, he could actually do an end-to-end purchase of a car. Then on top of it, a Hyundai Mobility membership program, where we are saying, okay, car buying is not only a one-time purchase. We will take care of your needs, all your entertainment needs, your lifestyle needs, the entire lifetime journey. I think that is going to become very critical going forward, that how you are able to take care of that. I think that is very important. The second thing which is going to become very important is the use of data. I think how much are we able to know the customer well? Because customers are becoming more and more discerning. And you will have to really customize, and you'll have to make sure that those vanilla solutions which we used to provide maybe will not work in the future. So what I mean to say is, because what has happened even in this pandemic time, customers have time to really consume so much of content. But at the same time, customers have evolved to see, is this content relevant to me? And I think that is where concepts like hyper local marketing will come in, where you will have to really design your communication programs keeping the customer in mind, that specific customer, what are his needs, rather than providing again, maybe a communication channel to a customer who does not watch TV, and you're just doing a spray and pray. So I think a spray and pray will not work. You will have to really customize it. That is the second part. The third part is, I think last couple of years, people have thought that maybe the millennial of this country is moving towards shared mobility. I think while shared mobility will make a mark, again, I'm sure in a couple of years. At the same time, I think what we've realized is that owning a car, or pride of ownership, and the convenience of a car, having a car to yourself, is also very important. So, so I think that aspect also in India also and globally also, I think people will think about more and more personal mobility, and their options like subscription, options like leasing, options like different type of financing. I think all those will also become extremely important. And last but not the least, again I'm saying, the customer will want latest technology, and he wants to be the one who's making the choice. Gone are the days where I say I have only black and black is the best. No, I think I will have to provide the choice to the customer and educate him. Okay, this thing has these options, this thing pros and cons, and maybe for you, these are maybe for you, Mr. Arpit, maybe this is a better option. But maybe for Tarun, something else is there. Maybe for somebody else, something else is there. But he will like to decide. The customer will like to decide. So any OEM who's able to provide those customers, those options to the customers, I think is going to be having an advantage over the others.
Well, I think that has been a really great and insightful conversation with you, Mr. Garg, and I'm sure our viewers will also enjoy this. So, thank you so much for your time. Before we leave, is there any closing remark you would like to make, especially in terms of diesel engines, and because I think that was the crux of our discussion today. So, the diesel strategy or the diesel engines. Any closing remarks you would like to make?
Ankit, I would say that Hyundai is a complete car manufacturer, and for us, customer is the king. And customer is a decision maker. So it's not about any specific powertrain. What we are saying is that, and you are the best judge. You decide for yourself what is right. Our job is to make sure that we provide you with options which are with latest technology at the right price, best for the environment. And I think then you are smart enough, evolved enough to make the right choice. And this is my request to all of you. Please be more and more demanding, because when you are demanding, it helps us to really pull our socks even more and continue to deliver even more. So please demand from us so that we can continue to evolve, continue to provide you with new products, new technologies, and great customer service. And thank you very much to all the viewers for really supporting Hyundai and all our new products. And we are very, very thankful to you. And I assure you that we will continue to serve you with all humility and with all our might. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Garg. It was great talking to you today. Thank you so much.